And for the final time in 2022, we get to say good evening and welcome in to Struts Wings in Oxford for the FNN Tuesday Night High School Football Coaches Show. Jim Jacobs, Joe Medley, and James Hardy here to spend the next 90-plus minutes with you because we're probably going to run over tonight. We have a full slate on tap as we finish up the season with a lot of guests and a lot of different types of sports to talk about here as we cap off the season. And we're right here in the middle of the high school football playoffs. This past Friday night, you were over in Gardendale, I think, for the Oxford game, and then went and did cross-country state on Saturday. And so you've been kind of busy. Your impressions from this past Friday's game over at Gardendale?
Well, Gardendale was a better team, and that showed. Oxford had a pretty good start to that game.
Yep.
They got off to they were up 7-0 after a turnover. Got up 14-7, but Gardendale went into halftime up 17-14, kicked the field goal right at the end of the first half, and they pretty much dominated the second half. And they got some players over there. Their quarterback's a really good player, and Oxford, they've been through some adversity this year, to say the least, and persevered to get in the playoffs. And considering the region they play in, I think they did okay.
But, James, I think the high mark of round one has to be the exit of Clay Chalkville.
Especially after they've been, number one practically the entire season. I mean, they were one of, 6 top seeds across the state that lost this past Friday night.
Yeah, it was an interesting first round.
It was, and as far as Calhoun County goes,
it was a deadly night.
It was a deadly night. A couple of years ago when we got 9 in, 8 of them made the second round.
Yep.
This wasn't that kind of year.
No, we saw several teams from our area exit, and unfortunately, some of it we thought would happen, but there was a couple that we didn't think would happen, and it wound up being that way. But we still have several teams in from our coverage area, and we'll talk about some of those games coming up for round 2 here later on in the show tonight. A really interesting lineup this evening. Let's go ahead and put it up on the screen for you so we can tell you exactly who's here tonight as we get ready for our final show of the year. Of course, Coach Wes Brooks is here from the Oxford flag football team, the girls flag football team, and he's brought members of the program with him. And, Joe, they've advanced again back to the semifinals after winning last year's first state champion in Hewitt-Trussville, knocked them off last night, and now Oxford's back in the hunt.
Yeah, back in the semifinals, and, having, a year later, they got a lot of experienced players, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them in Birmingham.
Well, let's hope so. The Big O going back to, it'll be, I guess they'll play that in Auburn, won't they? Yeah, it'll be at Auburn as part of the Super 7. Exactly. Well, one coach that's here that won't have to play for her blue map, that's Coach Taylor from Donoho. They've already got possession, right?
Yep. They took it and took it firmly.
one of the sharpest quarterbacks we've seen this season, and he's been in our lens a couple of times. Trace Thompson is here, James, as our player of the week from the Week 10 beatdown that they laid on Southside to finish off the regular season, and Etowah still lives on in the playoffs.
Absolutely, and he was making plays in that regular season finale at Southside and kind of helped them get a little bit of momentum going into the postseason.
And, of course, also here to join us tonight is Namath Pitts. He does radio for WVOK on a play-by-play situation for Game of the Week, and he also has his own kind of video podcast he does during the season called High School Pick'ems. He's going to talk with Joe and I about the remainder of the playoffs and his thoughts there. And Coach Ralphael Graves joins us tonight to kind of tune us up for high school hoops, which, believe it or not, has already gotten underway. There are teams playing tonight.
Yep, it's here.
It's here. And, of course, FNN will be right in the mix of all that. You ready to go like this and this?
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Well, Coach Graves will be joining us at the games this season as our analyst with James. And, of course, we'll talk with him about what we should expect in high school basketball around this part of the state coming up here in just a couple of minutes. And with all that said, it's time to pay the first bills of the night. We will do that. When we return, we'll bring in Trace Thompson to kind of award him our Player of the Week award so they can get on back to Etowah and he can get his rest because they've got a game Friday night. We'll do that coming up next here on the FNN Tuesday night high school football coaches show live from Struts. You stay right where you are.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now, these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the FNM Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
Anniston Auto Trim and Body Shop is your best stop for full-service auto body repair, including all body work and professional painting. They also specialize in complete classic car restoration. When you have an accident, you want it back the way it was, and that's what you get with the team at Anniston Auto Trim. The same is true if you're ready to restore your dream car or a timeless family classic. They work with all major insurance companies and provide free estimates for every job. Come by today and see Stacy Jennings and the gang at Anniston Auto Trim and Body Shop, just up the hill off Quintard on Greenbrier Deer Road.
Family owned and operated for over 50 years, Miller Funeral Home is committed to providing families with the finest services for their loved ones, including our newest service, Aquamation. Aquamation is a gentle, respectful, and eco-friendly alternative to flame cremation. Miller Funeral Home is the only facility in the state of Alabama that offers the Aquamation service. Call us or visit our website today to learn more about how we can serve you and your loved ones.
And we get things going here on the FNN Coaches Show, our final one of the 2022 season. James Hardy with you, and we got a couple of star players from our area, from the Etowah Blue Devils, as we actually just saw them in our final regular season game of the season as part of our FNN Game of the Week. Off to my left is star quarterback Trace Thompson, and equal as far as the star status at wide receiver Amarian Finch at wide receiver, and they have at least their season still going on as far as their postseason run, as they'll make the trip up to Deschler on Friday night for the second round of the Class 4A playoffs. And before we, as far as a little business tonight, we'll have a little bit of hardware to give to one Trace Thompson, but we'll get to that soon enough. But first, Trace, just kind of how's your season been going as far as this 2022 season?
It's been going good, very good. So.
And so, kind of the same question to you, Amarian, just kind of assess and judge, especially now that y'all are 2 weeks into the postseason. Just kind of how's the season been for you?
It's been really good for me, just going out and playing.
There you go. And, Trace, I want to go back to that Southside game because I know y'all got down early, struggled quite a bit coming out of the gate, but y'all just seemed to just kind of turn that light switch on once you got that first touchdown on the board late in the first quarter, early second quarter, and it just seemed that the ball started to kind of roll in your favor. Y'all got the momentum and never let go a couple weeks ago.
Yes, sir. I mean, I don't know what happened, but nobody wants to – on our team wanted to lose. The Southside is a big rivalry game. I guess we just all turned the switch on in our head and just got rolling.
So just kind of as far as for you, because, I mean, once especially you got going, you got some rhythm, it just seemed that Southside didn't have an answer for you. Just kind of describe that performance as far as just what really got things going for you in that win.
Really the first thing that got it going when I had a long run. And then after that, my guys just started making play after play, and I couldn't do it without them.
And so, Amarian Finch over on the other side of you, off to my right, had a big game as well. In fact, one of the best wide receivers I think we've seen all season long. Just what makes him so talented and what makes him such a threat on the football field?
Just a very good athlete. I mean, he can do anything. He's line up in the backfield, slot receiver, wide out. It doesn't matter. He can run every route on the route tree, and it doesn't matter. He can do everything.
And I want to turn the tables on this question, Amarian, as far as I know, as we mentioned, you're one of the best wide receivers that we've seen as far as our games of the week this year. But Trace Thompson's a pretty good quarterback himself. What makes him such a valuable part of your offense?
I mean, he's a leader. He goes out there and just throws the ball like he can and puts it on the dot every time.
Yeah, he has one of the strongest arms. I tell you what, he's pretty tough to tackle out there, too.
Yes, sir.
And, Trace, just kind of describe your progression as a quarterback, just especially from last year to this year. What did you work on in the offseason? What improvements have you seen as far as your game so far this year?
My footwork. I worked on footwork with a trainer in Birmingham and also making better reads on reading the defense.
And also, how's the coaching? How's at least the transition been as far as to Coach Glover now that you're a full season, and just kind of as far as kind of the big picture for this year? How's the team been able to adjust to him?
It's been good. I mean, the team just really great. I mean, he just expects a lot out of us, and we expect a lot out of him. We just work hard and get it done.
Now, let's look ahead to this week. Obviously, when you're in the postseason, every game is do or die. But y'all had a solid performance against Northside in the first round this past Friday night, and you got an outstanding undefeated Deschler squad on the road. Just kind of what's the mindset for y'all going into this week as a team?
Just play Etowah football, minimize mistakes, and just do us.
And I got to figure for you, you've got to have a big role as far as being able to make plays, but also get your team, and especially your offense, into the right place.
Yes, sir.
And so, Amari, you looking forward to this Friday night?
Yes, sir, I am.
Now, as far as your opponent, Deschler, is this, in y'all's minds, one of the best opponents that y'all played all year?
I'll say so.
And also, y'all play in an outstanding region. Really, in my mind, Class 4A, both the South and the North Division, is one of the better classifications in the state of Alabama, as far as especially already playing Cherokee County and Oneonta. Does that kind of help prepare y'all, especially for a road game like this?
I think so, because Oneonta and Cherokee County gave us a game. We had to go out there and play and come out with the win.
And then, Trace, I want to go back to that Oneonta game as well. They were in the state championship game last year in Class 4A, but y'all had arguably your best game of the season, one of probably your top moment as a team on the season, going into their house and dominating with a 31-7 win. How much does that experience of getting a win like that help as far as just the confidence, but also the mental preparation coming into this week?
It helps a lot, just knowing that we can do it if we put our mind to it, if we work. So it really helps a lot, going into a big game like this.
And so, Trace, I know you've had an outstanding season, really an outstanding career at Etowah. I'm kind of interested as far as, is there any quarterback at the college or the pro level that you've tried to emulate that you really like to watch as far as just trying to pick some things up to implement in your game?
Yes, sir. I like Justin Fields.
Why do you like him?
He's a big guy, a physical guy, and I just been liking watching him since high school.
And so I want to ask you the same question, Marion. Is there anybody as far as the college game or the pro game, as far as your position at wide receiver, that you really enjoy watching?
Yes, Marvin Harrison Jr. from Ohio State.
Okay, and why?
He's just a great player. I like how he plays, and I just try to go there and do the same.
So before we go, we have a little bit of business to take care of with Trace Thompson, because he is our final winner as far as our FNN Player of the Week.
Yes, sir.
6 total touchdowns, 5 through the air, and helping as far as lead a comeback from a 14-point first half deficit in getting a regular season finale W, because certainly the Blue Devils hope that this Friday is far from a finale. What do you think you'll have to do as far as going on the road and getting a big victory to continue what y'all hope is a run toward a state championship?
Just stay focused. Don't let it get to us going a long drive, and just minimize all the flags and keep it to a low, and play Etowah football. Will be fine. And
then one final question for you, O'Marion. As far as I know, it's been first-year coach, but y'all have had a lot of really quality wins so far this year. Would y'all view this year as a successful season as far as for this year's team?
Yes, sir. I think it was, because last year we kind of went downhill, but this year we kept it together and kept pushing. And, yeah.
So there you have it. We have Trace Thompson, our winner for the FNN Player of the Week for the final regular season week, and also Marion Finch, wide receiver for the Etowah Blue Devils, as their season continues on Friday night in the second round of the Class 4A playoffs up at Desher. Still a whole lot more of the FNN Coaches Show, our final one for the 2022 season, and we'll have more after this timeout.
The tire, arguably the most important part of a car. Without it, we could not stop, we could not go, we couldn't drive at all. They come in all sizes, brands, treads, prices, and ratings. How do you know which is the right tire for you? Thankfully, there's Cobb Automotive, and they have been answering this question since 1981. With a large selection of brands and sizes in stock, you are sure to get the right tire for the right price. Cobb Automotive, located on Highway 21 across from Walmart in Oxford, and 2001 Quintard Avenue in Anniston.
Serving Calhoun County for over 30 years, Crawford Office Supply offers selection, convenience, and low prices. Choose from a wide variety of office furnishings featured in their huge showroom. With savings of 50 to 70% off scratch and dent items. You'll find it all from pens and paper to janitorial supplies at Crawford Office Supply, including on-site printing, all backed up by unmatched personal service and free delivery to local business. Crawford Office Supply, 301 South Layton Avenue in Anniston. Remember, buy local, it matters.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
And welcome back to the Tuesday Night High School Football Coaches Show, live on FNN. We're at Strutt's Wings here in Oxford. Jim Jacobs, Joe Medley, and the head football coach. That's got to sound weird, yeah. Doesn't it?
Yes, sir.
Of the Oxford Lady Jackets flag football team, who have once again made it back to the Final Four. Coach Wes Brooks, thanks for coming in this evening. Good to see you. Glad to have you. We've been trying to do this for 3 years.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, man, what a season. Again.
Oh, yeah. It's I'll tell you what, the biggest thing is just coordinating with all of the other coaches. We've got band members. We've got varsity cheerleaders. We've got middle school cheerleaders. We've got softball players. We've got volleyball players. We've got basketball players. So I just try to communicate with each coach and their practice schedule, their game schedule, and I just default to the time that nobody's practicing, which is usually 6:30, 7:30 at night time. Might be on a weekend, might be a late practice, but just a testament to the girls of just kind of hanging in there and learning different things each week. We probably had 11 different checks on defense against Hewitt based upon their formation. And we had 4 practices in between the region championship and the game against Hewitt. And not at any one practice did we have all the starters there at one time. So maybe 2 practices I had all the offense there, and 2 practices I had all the defense. And so just doing that, and the girls picking it up and executing a really good defensive game plan last night, obviously holding Hewitt to 0 points. That was anytime you can hold a team to 0 points, that's really good. And they got inside the 5 3 different times. And, of course, we went to our goal line defense, and our athletes just made really good plays.
Wes, what do you have to do to be good at flag football?
You got to be really good at pulling the flag, and there's a technique to it. You just can't run and just grab it one-handed. We go 2 hands, not necessarily like a football player, but you got to be able to pull flags, and you can't give up any extra yardage. If you're there and you're touching the player, you need to have the flag pulled, and you need to put them. It's 1st and 20, so you need to put them in a 2nd and 16. Not 2nd and 8, just like regular football.
Right. Don't get behind the chains.
And just like any sport, get your best athletes in the best position, and then let them compete and have fun. But outflanking them with motion and trips and lining up in trips and motioning back and just kind of, and that's one thing on defense for us. We had to learn what containment meant. We have to learn angles, and we have to learn, get what getting outflanked means, and if you got the flats, or if you got the third, or if you're in cover 2 or cover 3, and our girls, and we use normal football terminology. We ran Tampa 2 last night. We ran cover 2. We ran man free. We ran 2-man. We ran cover 3. We ran cover 1. We ran a different version of it. One side's running cover 2 and the other side's running man-to-man. So, and they don't know any different. So they don't know that, Coach, you're really not supposed to run man-to-man and cover 2 at the same time. But they don't know. And you got to be careful with that they don't, because whatever you tell them, that's all that they know. It's not like you can have a football player that's played 10 years and now he gets to high school ball and he's learned a certain way. If whatever you tell them to do, they're going to do it, and they do a good job of it. But also, you let them be athletes too. You don't want them to be robotic and be like, hey, I'm going to do this because Coach said so. I said, hey, we're just going to put you in this position and you just play ball and be an athlete. We got 2 starters playing basketball right now at the high school. I just went by there, and we got 4 girls that are here tonight. They're competing in the regional cheerleading competition Thursday. I'm the bus driver. We also practice baseball this afternoon. We get 2 hours a week in the off-season practice. So, and then we got 5 guys that are going to sign their scholarships tomorrow, and then we got flag football practice at 7:30 tomorrow night after church. So, just a lot of different things going, and it's a little easier when your daughters are involved. I got a 7th grader, Skylar Brooks, and I got a senior here tonight with us, Sawyer Brooks, and that was kind of the motivation to coach it, is to because I always thought I would get, I guess it was Coach Gross's maybe 3rd or 4th year in 2012 or 13 that they were getting older, and I was missing a lot of their tap, dance, ballet, cheer competitions as the girls got older, and so that was kind of my opportunity to coach my girls, So, and I always thought when Sawyer was going to be a varsity cheerleader that I would get back into coaching regular football. And then all of a sudden they decided they wanted to do, a flag football team, and the rest was history. So here we are, and it's really fun. I mean, if I could sum it up in one word, it is really fun. The girls are having fun, and I don't ever have to ask them to hustle. They hustle. They might not do the right thing, but they're always going to hustle.
But they're hustling at it.
That's right.
You talked about how important it was to get athletes in the right place, and a lot of the girls that you have on your team not only play another sport, but they play a lot of other sports. And how does that that cross training. I know what kind of a good effect it can have in other sports. How does that impact your game?
So how you call it a screen block? Like you can't go and physically block somebody and put your hand on somebody, but you can screen block. So if I go and screen block you, I have to give you 2 feet of space. If you run through me, just like a charge on basketball, that's a penalty on you. You have to go around me, but we can't slide and move, or it's a block, like in basketball.
Right.
So 3 of our defenders are playing a varsity basketball game now, so teaching them how to block and screens and the cheerleaders. Reagan White, she's very athletic. She plays. They play.
Soccer,
they play
track.
club soccer in the fall. They play club soccer. Ashlyn Burns plays
softball,
volleyball on the weekend, and she's just finished, in the final 8 in volleyball. You got your linear athletes that are straight ahead. You got your lateral athletes that are, maybe can center and block and move sideways. And you got your multi-directional players that really we like to play at free safety and Mike linebacker. And they want to be called Mike, Sam, and Will linebacker. They don't want to. At the beginning, I said, do y'all want to be Mike, Sam, or Will, or do y'all want to be Michelle, Samantha? I kind of made it. They said, no, we want to be Mike, Sam, and Will. and that's just the terms that they go with. And we'll run, we call it Jag, right? All of our formations are names of animals. So we got eagle, we got jag, we got bear, we got hawk. And they think that everybody that plays football calls it those. I said, no, those are just the formations, and help y'all remember, we're calling them by names. We got a play called Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck. We just got, just names that they can remember. And we had a play last night on defense where Reagan White robbed the center that was going out for a pass, and we called it Robber Ray. And it resulted in she got an interception, and we had the flag pulled, 15-yard sack. And I was saying that we had the flag pulled, but she, got the ball away. And they had ran that play 15 times previously in the last game and a half, because we get film too. We swap film, we call coaches, we get a scouting report. Most of the games are on some sort of network or whatever. The game I was just watching on NFHS network. I was watching the Vestavia Moody game. So we get film and we game plan it and just put them in the right place and just let them be athletes. And they did a really good job last night. And of course, we went to Hewitt last year in the semifinals and got beat. It was really cold in late November. And going there, our girls were just a little bit like, oh man, I remember the stadium going here last year, and we came away and they beat us 19-0. And then we knew we had to be aggressive. We got a freshman quarterback, Gabby Lindsay, that can throw it about 50 yards. So we knew we were going to try to hit some deep balls early, and we did. We threw an interception, but I was okay with it. It's just like a punt, 30-yard interception, just like, third and long, punting it away. And then we came back and we hit a wheel route. Zay Whitfield had caught a slant earlier in the game for about 15 yards, and then we ran a slant and then ran a wheel behind it, and the corner bit down, and Ashlyn Burns was able to score. Hit both 2-point conversions. And I say 2-point. They're only 1 point, but you're going for, you have to run it or pass it from the 3-yard line.
You don't get to kick.
Right, you don't get to kick. So, but that's 1 point, and then you can go for 2 at the 10-yard line, and you can go for 3 at the 20-yard line. We go for 1 every time because it's the extra points are really tough, because you can line up all. You don't have to count Mississippi. You can rush. As soon as the ball's snap, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, you can rush. You can rush 2 rushers. You can rush 3 rushers, and most of the time when it's an extra point play, they'll rush 3 people or 4 people and just pull the flag.
How big of a deal would it be to take these girls down to Auburn and compete for a blue mat?
Oh, it wouldn't be a big
as part of that whole championship weekend kind of deal.
You got to take care of the very first. You got to take care of practice. Got to take care of the next game, and in order to get there and have that opportunity. But one of those cliche. Everything happens twice. You think about it, you dream about it, and then and they're over there, talking about it now about, what do you think? Because Auburn High School and Hoover High School is in the South. And, obviously if Auburn wins, it'll be Auburn High School and Auburn University. So that they were kind of talking about that, and they're like, oh, well, our student section will show up, So, but it is really exciting. Last night we had half the cheerleading squad, about 5 or 10 football players showing up. Obviously this coming up semifinals. I feel good about, us having, a lot of folks there. And to me, in baseball, getting there is almost more of a big emotional, energetic, because you want to get there, and then once you're there, it's kind of like a normal game. You're still fired up, but the semifinals have been the most exciting in the other sports I've been a part of, as far as like being able to go to the state finals, and it's going to be exciting. And our girls we got a mixture of older girls, younger girls. We got a mixture of girls from all different sports. And last night we had a girl that about a month ago got injured in volleyball. She dislocated her shoulder. She did not play in the regional championship. She was cleared to play this last night, but I didn't play her, and I just told her I would spot play her a little bit. And in the fourth quarter, she got 4 sacks because she was the rusher, and she was fresh when everybody else was tired. And we changed some coverage on it, and the quarterback just kind of hesitated a little bit. She was able to get back there and pull the flag. And it was just an overall good night to be an Oxford Yellow Jacket. We didn't throw it at all second half because we were ahead, and so we used the clock just to continue to get first downs. And it's a running clock. It's 4 12-minute quarters, and it's a running clock until the last 2 minutes. So even if you get a penalty, the clock's still running. And then once he blows it in, you still got 25 seconds. So we really used the clock, and we ran the triple option. And I would give it, would keep it, and I'd let her read it. Would give it, keep it, and just kind of keep mixing that up, and triple option angles. And, if they're not pulling the flags, when they got an opportunity to pull a flag, we'll get 7 or 8 yards. So, but so far, so good.
Man, this sounds too complicated for me.
Well, this is a very analytical guy, though. He's got it broken down.
We played Vestavia twice already. They beat us on the last play of the game early in the year at our place, and then we went to Oak Mountain and played a 3-way with them in Oak Mountain, and they beat us 18-12. So they beat us twice, but our girls are really feel good about it, and it's tough to beat a team twice, much less 3 times in a season. And they're coming here, and they're a very well coached team. Their coach is out of Florida. He was a flag football guru down in Florida, and he's been their head coach the last 2 years. And I've actually learned a lot just talking to him, on the phone and playing them. They throw it. They throw it every down. All of their receivers run out. The center can go off for pass. So they got 6 receivers. So we got to mix our defense up a little bit. They do a lot of pre-snap reads. He relies on the quarterback after the snap is made for her to make some good decisions. They're really good on trick plays, triple option, reverse passes, stuff like that. They do a really good job, and he brought 60 girls to Oxford early in the year.
Wow.
He said he doesn't always dress 60 because he has a varsity and JV. And we played a couple of JV games this year. We don't have a JV on it, but we played all of our girls that doesn't play. So Charlie Trotter's an 8th grade quarterback, and that played really well all year. Kristen Gooden is a starting corner. She's an 8th grader. We had a 7th grader score her first touchdown, Sophia Ledbetter. Skylar Brooks, my youngest daughter, she's a rusher on defense, and she got a sack in the regional championship. So we got young girls, we got old girls, and then, of course, the youth is doing a lot of flag football now. And some girls, my niece, she's 10 years old, and she plays with the boys flag football. So I think it'll catch on. I think it'll be good. Alan Gilbert, he's the director of officials for flag football. He's doing a really good job of making it consistent. Last year it really wasn't consistent. We'd go to your place, they'd call the screen block, and we'd come to our place, and it would be different. But they got a good crew of officials working it this year, which creates more jobs for officials.
Yep, and God knows we need those in the state.
That's right, and we've got to be careful on when we schedule because they're still doing middle school and JV and all that football too. So, but it's fun. It's fun. It really
how does doing this with the girls compare to doing baseball?
I found out nobody knows this, but in the year 2000, I was girls varsity basketball coach at Walter Wellman High School. My point guard was Amy Brannon, and her daughter is now on the flag football team. And my starting shortstop on the baseball team was Burns' dad, Andrew Burns. But here's what I found out back in 2000. And I did it wrong at the beginning. I treated them like girls. I treated them like women. I treated them like girls and babied them a little bit. But I found out that once you cross that line, you treat them like athletes. And you coach them as hard as you can coach them. If you need to get on to them, you get on to them. If you need to give them a break, give them a break. If you need to high-five them, high-five them. When they're off the field, you treat them like ladies. You treat them like women are supposed to be treated. When they're on the field, you treat them like athletes, whether they're a boy or a girl, and that's what I figured out, and that's kind of how I took it. There's some discipline that has to go on, whether it's being on sides or being on time or running the correct route, and So some of those things. But to me, no matter men, women, different sport, whatever, the athlete is preparing themselves for life. They got to be on time. They got to have some discipline. They come early, they stay late, they bust their tail off in the off season. They work. They come together for one common goal from different backgrounds, from different parts, different cultures, different communities, and we come together and we're trying to win a game. So, and that's life. Whatever your job you come from different backgrounds, but you got one common goal, and that's to make the company better or make your business better. So, being an athlete, girl, boy, and to me, man, our basketball team, girls basketball, went to the finals last year. Mm-hmm. Our volleyball team had a really good year. And then and our flag football teams, and we're all sharing athletes, and it's something different. And you just imagine being a girl, a 16-year-old girl, and watching college football, and what are men all fired up? What are these boys all fired up about football about, but having that thought and the dream? And now they got a chance to run plays.
Yep.
And I coach it, and I call it, and I call the formations, and I call the defense just like I was calling a high school football offense and defense. We call the motions the same. I was coached under, when I came back to Welborn, I coached under Mike Battles. I coached under Scott Peavy. Josh Niblett hired me here at Oxford. He left to go to Hoover. I was coached under John Gross. I coached linebackers for him. So I have a pretty good little football coaching tree going on there. And all of those men in my life, kind of molded me to the guy that I am today. And I've taken a little bit from each one, and just be blessed to be, have traveled that path of those football coaches. And still, Matt Thompson was our offensive coordinator when he was here at Oxford with Coach Niblett, and he had a set of plays that Auburn ran because he was from Leah Montgomery, and he coached there and played there. So he'd always go to Auburn's clinics. Well, he left that pad in my classroom, and I still got it. And we'd run a lot of trips bunch packages out of that that Auburn offense, and we call it the same. So I'll call him, and he's now Spain Park's defensive coordinator now. He was our offensive coordinator here. But I'll call him, and we'll just run through some pass routes because it's a lot like 7-on-7, except you got an extra receiver. In girls flag football, the center can go out. In your summer league, flag football, the center can't go out. So that's another dimension that the defense has to account for.
You mentioned the opportunity to coach your children.
Yes,
and I remember last year Sawyer said how much it meant to her to have you coaching one of her sports. And I saw the senior pictures
on
Facebook the other day. Every game now could be the last. How much that thought has occurred to you?
She sent me a text yesterday. I was driving the bus. I didn't read it till I got off the bus. But she said, no matter what happens tonight, Dad, I love you. Thank you for, and that right there in itself just meant. I look at it right before the game starts, and I just smile. and last, your first year doing it, and you're in the semifinal. Last year I think we were 6-5 going into the playoffs, and then we won, 4, or we won, finished runner-up in the regional championship, and then won on the road, and then went to Hewitt. Didn't really know, but I'm coaching hard. I'm trying to teach them about the mental game, about taking a deep breath, and But last night I just said, girls, make memories and have fun. I bet I said it, 4 or 5 times before pregame. Didn't have a pregame speech. Just make memories, have fun, enjoy the moment, And I think really them knowing that we practiced at how aggressive we were going to be. We wasn't going to play to not lose. We were going to play to win the game. And they're okay with that. If we throw a deep ball and it gets picked, it gets picked. But if we throw a deep ball and complete it, we're being aggressive. We're not going to play to just, not lose. So that approach, and the girls like that. And, just there's sometimes, like at halftime, they said, Coach, we don't need to run the reverse out of this formation. They know it's coming. Let's run it out of our other formation. Sure enough, 3rd and long, 3rd quarter, we run the reverse out of the formation that they told me, and it hit for a first down. So, and then them being able to have that communication.
Yeah, that just tells you that they're learning the game. Yeah,
that's right.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, who'd you bring with you tonight for us to put a headset on?
We got Sawyer Brooks, and we got Reagan White, and we got Ashlyn Burns, and they'd all like to come over and just say a few words and y'all can ask them whatever you want to. They're prepared for anything.
Well, good deal. Well, we're going to get them in here. Thanks for coming.
Yes,
Enjoyed
sir.
it.
Thank y'all so much.
I can tell how much you're enjoying this.
Oh, yeah. And I appreciate everything that you guys do, not only for this tonight for flag football, but for the whole year long, just to giving these guys a chance to live out their high school dreams.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. We enjoy it.
Thank you very
Coach
much.
Wes Brooks joining us here at Struts Wings. We'll take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll play some flag football with the Oxford Lady Jackets. Coming up on the Friday Night Network Tuesday Coaches Show. Stay with us.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now, these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the FNN Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnn.bank. Member FDIC.
The tire, arguably the most important part of a car. Without it, we could not stop, we could not go, we couldn't drive at all. They come in all sizes, brands, treads, prices, and ratings. How do you know which is the right tire for you? Thankfully, there's Cobb Automotive, and they have been answering this question since 1981. With a large selection of brands and sizes in stock, you are sure to get the right tire for the right price. Cobb Automotive, located on Highway 21 across from Walmart in Oxford, and 2001 Quintard Avenue in Anniston.
Serving Calhoun County for over 30 years, Crawford Office Supply offers selection, convenience, and low prices. Choose from a wide variety of office furnishings featured in their huge showroom. With savings of 50 to 70% off scratch and dent items. You'll find it all from pens and paper to janitorial supplies at Crawford Office Supply, including on-site printing, all backed up by unmatched personal service and free delivery to local business. Crawford Office Supply, 301 South Layton Avenue in Anniston. Remember, buy local, it matters.
Got you. It's okay. Oh.
And welcome back to the Tuesday Night High School Football Coaches Show. We are live at Struts Wings here in Oxford, and I am surrounded by the Oxford Lady Jackets flag football team, or at least 3 members of the team. And so I don't mess their names up, I'm going to ask them to introduce themselves.
My name is Reagan White.
Reagan
White.
White and
Sawyer Brooks.
Sawyer Brooks. You're the coach's daughter.
Yes.
And down here we have Ashlyn Burns, okay? All right, so who wants to – let's start with the coach's daughter.
Oh.
What's it like to play for Dad?
It's a really neat. I love how I'm able to, like, see how much work he puts into it at home, and, like, just seeing him so, like, devoted and into things that I'm in is really incredible.
To me, it's really interesting to watch his energy when we talked to him just a few minutes ago, because you could sense his passion for this with y'all. And, I mean, you know, obviously when you coach, you go through a lot of different emotions and things like that over the years. But to me, to have a chance to do something that's kind of early on in its scope of things, like your flag football team, he's really into it.
He is. He puts a lot of time and effort, and watches a lot of film, and then comes to practice and, you know, teaches us how to win.
Now, I understand that almost all of you on the team do something other than flag football in the sports genre. What do you do?
I do flag football, I cheer, I play soccer, and I do track.
So you do 4 things. Okay. And now how about you?
I cheer, play flag football, and play soccer.
Okay, and let's let her tell us what she does. Slip that on. There you go. You can just pull it down a little bit. Yeah, there you go.
I play softball, volleyball, and flag football.
Softball, volleyball, and flag football. So you're kind of midway through all your stuff, because volleyball's over, right?
Yes, sir.
What grade are you in?
I'm in 11th.
So you've got another year of this. Okay. Plus flag football, and then, of course, softball will come later this spring.
Yes.
Okay. Now, what's it like to be this close to playing for a championship?
It's a good feeling, like, especially since last year, like, we just improved a lot, and so it's just, like, it's really hype. I feel like it really helps with, like, I don't know. We're just going to make it far, and it's just a good feeling.
Now, you're going to play a team probably that's already beaten you twice this year from what I understand.
Yes, sir.
What makes the next time different?
So we had to play a lot of games like this fall without like some of our volleyball players because our volleyball team made it all the way to the Elite Eight as well.
Right.
So they made it a really far run. And so actually we've never had our volleyball players playing against Vestavia. And so they've never seen like us at our best. So I feel like we're going to show them what's up.
There you go. Now, tell me what it's like to play flag football. I mean, what position do you play?
I play a few different positions, but quarterback, receiver, running back, and then on defense I play linebacker.
Well, that's about everything but water boy. What do you enjoy doing the most?
I like being a receiver a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Catching the ball?
Mm-hmm.
Can you go deep?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
And you can get it?
Yes, for sure.
Do you go up and get it?
I do.
I mean, you
If it's
cheer,
up,
right?
yeah.
All right, so cheerleaders jump, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, and I mean, I understand you have some basketball players on the team too, so
Yes,
that's
we
got to
do.
help.
Yes, we do. They're actually playing in a basketball game right
I
now.
understand that. Coach was telling us that earlier here just a few minutes ago.
Yes.
So the game is probably going to be, what, in another week or so, I think? I think there's a window. Coach Brooks said that, y'all get to kind of settle on it. Is it going to be here or there, do we know?
If Vestavia wins, which they're winning right now, it'll be at home. And then if Moody wins, it'll be at Moody.
So you guys will get them here.
Yes.
Now, will that game be played at the stadium or will you play at Chakalaka Park?
It depends.
It depends. It probably depends
If it's on like a weekend, it'll be at Chakalaka, but if it's during like the week, it'll be here. They're at the stadium.
So do you have a preference? I mean, I know y'all have played at both. Do you have a preference? Where would you like to play?
The stadium.
The stadium?
Yeah.
Do you like the artificial turf?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
All right. What's different about it?
What, the turf and the ground?
Playing at either place. What's different?
The turf is like, to me, it's easier to run on. But like Chakalaka has nice fields too. So I mean, either way it goes, it's gonna be fine. But like, I just like.
She's talking junk over here.
know.
You know that, don't you?
I don't like turf burn, but
yeah, me neither. That's the only downfall.
Yeah, the grass.
It's set up for a flag football game.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like it.
Yeah. Good. So the fields are laid out, whereas for over here, it's for regular football.
High school field, we have to set up cones for our length of our field.
Right. Yeah. I got you. Okay. Well, listen, thank you, ladies, all of you, for coming tonight. Hope you enjoyed your food. What'd you have?
I had a Caesar salad and kids' boneless wings.
Oh, I just had wings.
Wings?
I had a buffalo wrap.
There you go. All right. Well, good deal. Joe Medley recommends the egg rolls, by the way. Okay.
Egg rolls?
Yeah, egg rolls. Well, congratulations on a great season and continued success, and hopefully you'll get a shot to go play for that blue map. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you so much.
All right, you're very welcome. We will be right back, and we'll get to volleyball. Donoho is here, and they will join us next on FNN.
Family owned and operated for over 50 years, Miller Funeral Home is committed to providing families with the finest services for their loved ones, including our newest service, Aquamation. Aquamation is a gentle, respectful, and eco-friendly alternative to flame cremation. Miller Funeral Home is the only facility in the state of Alabama that offers the Aquamation service. Call us or visit our website today to learn more about how we can serve you and your loved ones.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver Card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Serving Calhoun County for over 30 years, Crawford Office Supply offers selection, convenience, and low prices. Choose from a wide variety of office furnishings featured in their huge showroom. With savings of 50 to 70% off scratch and dent items. You'll find it all from pens and paper to janitorial supplies at Crawford Office Supply, including on-site printing, all backed up by unmatched personal service and free delivery to local business. Crawford Office Supply, 301 South Layton Avenue in Anniston. Remember, buy local, it matters.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now, these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the FNN Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnn.bank. Member FDIC.
Back at Struts Wings here in Oxford, Tuesday night high school football coaches show. We go from flag football to girls volleyball, and joining us now from the Donoho School is Coach Anna Taylor. Did I get that right?
Yes, sir.
And she is the head coach of the current 1A girls volleyball state champions.
2A.
2A.
2A, that's
yeah.
right. 2A, and that is cool.
Yeah.
First off, congratulations.
Thank you.
Past that, I don't know. I don't have a clue what to ask you. That's what he's here for, because he knows a whole lot more about what you ladies do than I do.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, somebody needs to bring that blue map over here.
Yeah.
I think I'll get LG to bring the map over.
Okay. Bring it over. Come on over here.
The map.
Yep. I think this will be the first time we've ever had a blue map on the show.
I mean, we've had belts. We've had.
Yeah, we've had a little bit of everything. Here we go.
There it is.
All right.
Yeah.
That's sweet. Nice.
They've had 2 of those in 3 years. Or actually 3 and 4, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Now, you took over for someone. When was that? I remember reading that in your bio a little bit. When did you take over?
Coach Clendenin left at the end of last year, so I sort of accepted the job May, right at the end of the school year last year.
That's not bad, getting the keys to a Cadillac.
That's pretty nice. That's pretty nice.
Tell me about what did it take to talk you into taking the job, and what was your thought process there?
Well, first he lost 6 seniors last year, but I've worked at Donoho for several years now, since 2009, so I've watched these kids grow up, so I knew a lot of the girls. And so, I had to sit back and just sort of wait to see if now was the right time. There had always been a lot of interest from the school and Coach Gendron getting me to come on board. It just turned out to be the right moment, the right time in my life, the right time for school life. So I took the reins, accepted the job, and haven't regretted it a day.
Now, volleyball and Donoho have kind of gone together pretty well here as of late. I know the school seems to always be around at the end of the year when tournament time comes around and makes deep runs or gets these like you've done the last couple of years. But is the school – is it attracting people that want to play volleyball, or is it just a period of time where the right athletes are in the right place? How's all this come about, you think?
Well, I really feel like there is a volleyball mentality. It's been a volleyball school ever since. I'm from the Calhoun County area. I graduated from Jacksonville. I played with a ton of great girls from Donoho on club teams. We played against Donoho. I think just growing up, these girls from the lower school all the way up, they see these girls and they see the success. It's introduced to them very early, and with us being such a small school, they're able just to fall right in line, right? And so down there at the lower school, they're getting involved in volleyball, and they're seeing that. And we've just historically had that vertical program building up. We've had great coaches coming all the way back, from Coach Hester, Miss Karen Hester, Louise Marbett, Janice Slay, Coach Clinton. We have just had really a great lineage just all the way through to sort of build this program and keep it going throughout, the ups and downs. You always have them. But at this particular year, we definitely have had a great group of girls, specifically of the 5 seniors, Mary Marshall and LG, who will be with us in just a minute. Those are girls have been on varsity since 8th grade. And so this is coming up for them. To see them, reach their sort of last year, their senior year. It's just really been a great group of girls.
Was Coach Slay coaching at Donoho when you were playing at Jacksonville?
No, Coach Hester was.
Hester was, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So obviously you were around her. You played for David Clark.
Yes.
So I guess speak to your coaching influences. What did you take to the court this year from what all you learned being around those people?
Yeah, well, Coach Clark always he brought such a well-rounded approach to the sport. He also is such a calm and collected coach. He was always a pleasure to play for, a great mentor, great fundamental coach. So my time there was great. And then when I played in junior college for a minute, I played for Miranda Dearman, who is also from Calhoun County. Mm-hmm. So we keep it close. But she was a phenomenal sort of mentor and leadership for me too. Seeing Coach Hester throughout the times when she was coaching at Donoho, she was also a mentor when I came to Donoho as well. Even though I wasn't coaching at the time, she just was that instructional leadership, a good leader for just becoming a great person, but that just transitions from the court, into everything else you do. And that's one of the things that we really try to drive home is that what you're doing on the court and these successes and struggles, it just carries it on right into life,
Coach, talk a little bit about the popularity of volleyball, especially in this area. I can tell you from what we do, we get asked more about why don't we do volleyball games than anything else we hear. Mm-hmm. And for us, of course, it's in the middle of football season, which makes it incredibly difficult to try to do anything other than that. But it appears like there's some momentum for volleyball in the area and interest in it aside from the people just going out and playing each week.
It's a tremendous the popularity has grown really due to that club volleyball and the opportunities to extend volleyball beyond the months of August to October. With the growth of club outside of the regular volleyball season for high school, that's really allowed the girls to begin development from younger ages, from elementary school ages up until junior high, and it has really become a engaged sport with the community from young girls all the way up. And I think that the growth of club opportunities for them to continue playing has also increased the popularity and given some more opportunities.
All right, last question. Make it a good one.
Well, okay, she's getting ready to come up and talk. So there's a two-time Elite Eight MVP sitting there.
Yeah.
And obviously what she's done in tennis too. We talk a lot about Jack Hayes and some of the accolades he's piled up at Piedmont. How should we regard LG as a Calhoun County athlete historically?
Historically, I don't know. Her trophy cabinet is very full. From those volleyball trophies to MVP trophies, and not just volleyball. She's got a runner-up from state in soccer a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. Tennis, individual. She has racked it up all the way from young to the end. She's going to cap it off. We'll see what the rest of this year holds. But she's a truly special young lady. Mary Marshall with her, same thing. She's been right along there with her state championships as well. They're both incredibly well-rounded, talented leaders, players. So they're both very phenomenal. And yes, I do believe that LG deserves every honor that she's gotten. She's a great special player. She's left her mark.
Coach, I got to ask this now that we've, kind of opened the door on her a little bit. How does someone like you help guide her toward what her specialty may be after high school?
Yeah, well, so much of this is about, like I mentioned, you learn these skills on the court. You learn how to perform under pressure. You learn how to react differently. You learn what you did right, what you did wrong, why it worked, how to motivate others, how to work with others. And, with her being a senior this year, she's been a great offensive and defensive player all along, as noted by her accomplishments. But this year she was the team captain. Last year, you had Maggie Wakefield and these other players that were there. You had 6 seniors, so athletically you contributed. So each year there's a new opportunity for some sort of a leadership skill. And so we really were able to do that this year with both of these ladies being the team captains. They had to step up. They had to sort of perform in a team captain capacity by leading each other, trying to pull the team together, directing and organizing and trying to get everybody to move in the right direction in the good times, in the tough times, in the losses, when things are not going the way they have to. They had to really kind of be that go-between, and that's a life skill that will definitely carry on to the next level.
Absolutely. Coach, thank you for coming.
Thank you. Appreciate
Congratulations on this.
Thank you.
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
Not bad for your first year.
Not too bad.
I think they'll keep you.
I'll take it.
We will be right back to meet the members of the Donoho volleyball team that are here with us. Coming up next here on FNN.
The tire, arguably the most important part of a car. Without it, we could not stop, we could not go, we couldn't drive at all. They come in all sizes, brands, treads, prices, and ratings. How do you know which is the right tire for you? Thankfully, there's Cobb Automotive, and they have been answering this question since 1981. With a large selection of brands and sizes in stock, you are sure to get the right tire for the right price. Cobb Automotive, located on Highway 21 across from Walmart in Oxford, and 2001 Quintard Avenue in Anniston.
Griffin Laser Engraving in Lincoln is your authorized local dealer for personalized Yeti products. Get your Yeti customized for your team, a business, or a special event. Your color, graphics, even photos. At Griffin Laser Engraving, we make it the way you want it. Order just one or hundreds, and you'll find a full line of Yeti coolers and accessories on hand, even the hard-to-find items. Nationally recognized, but right here at home in Lincoln for quality awards, trophies, powder coating, and personalized Yeti items, Griffin Laser Engraving.
Family owned and operated for over 50 years, Miller Funeral Home is committed to providing families with the finest services for their loved ones, including our newest service, Aquamation. Aquamation is a gentle, respectful, and eco-friendly alternative to flame cremation. Miller Funeral Home is the only facility in the state of Alabama that offers the Aquamation service. Call us or visit our website today to learn more about how we can serve you and your loved ones.
And welcome back to Struts Wings here in Oxford as we continue with our final Tuesday night high school football coaches show of the 2022 season. Of course, we've kind of run all over the place tonight with our guest lineup because there's just lots of folks that have done some special things this season that deserve recognition outside of high school football, which we will certainly crown a champion here in a couple of 3 weeks. But right now we're focused on volleyball, and a blue map means you've done pretty well. And I have a couple of ladies here right with me that were a part of that championship team. Why did y'all have to have 3 names apiece? I guess we blame your parents for that, right?
We do.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Lily Grace Draper, right? I get it right?
Yes, sir.
All right, that's a high five. There we go. And Mary Charles?
Mary Marshall.
Mary Marshall.
Perry.
Okay. I knew I'd mess it up. Look, it comes with age. All right, let's talk about the season and winning a championship. This was not your first go-round. How different was it? You had a new coach, so something had to be different.
Well, it was different this year because we moved up in classifications as well.
Right.
And
that competitive thing pushed you up, right?
Yes, sir. And we lost 6 seniors who were part of our starting lineup. So it definitely was a change, and we worked really hard this summer, and the hard work definitely paid off, I think.
Well, I don't think we can argue too much with the results. It's sitting here right in front of us. You ladies have the distinction of having the very first blue map on the FNN Tuesday Coaches Show, so you can take that with you in your senior memories. How about that?
Yes, sir.
All right, talk a little bit about the season and you know how things progressed, and you know at what point you felt like your team was really going to be good enough to compete again for a state title.
So I definitely knew we're just a really talented group. The coaching change and the loss of the 6 seniors, it was challenging, but we work together as a unit, and we're such a great group, and Coach Taylor is so good. So, but I just knew from the summer that we were going to be good the way we were practicing and playing in sync just over the summer. So,
Lily, I don't know her, but she strikes me as someone that you ladies can relate to. I mean, that she's young enough and, you know, got a lot of experience doing what you're doing now. was the dynamic that much different when she took over, or was it just kind of same old, same old?
Well, it was definitely a little different. We all knew Miss Taylor before.
Right, because she'd been at the school for a while.
So we all were close to her, and we knew that she was going to be a great coach for us.
Now, we talked to some of the girls from Oxford who are on the flag football team, and they all do different things sports-wise, from cheering to softball to this, that, or the other. What about you two? I mean, I know you do different things.
I play soccer and tennis, too.
Soccer and tennis. And you?
I play tennis.
You play tennis. What's different about playing tennis versus playing competition volleyball?
Well, tennis is more of like an individual sport.
Right.
So I like volleyball a lot more just because like you have the team aspect of it, and winning is just so much more fun when you're all together as a team. And just like the adrenaline rush, and I just like it a little bit more.
I agree. Volleyball is just really fun to be out there with your team and that loving spirit with everyone.
Now, both of you are seniors, right?
Yes, sir.
So what's life after Donoho? Have you decided yet? I mean, have you put down your signature somewhere? Where are you going? What are you doing? Have you decided?
No,
Not
sir.
yet? What do you want to do?
Well,
I mean, if you had your choice, what would you like to do?
I've been considering possibly playing volleyball in college.
Yeah.
But
Well, you're obviously good enough.
I don't know yet.
You haven't decided?
Not yet. I've been considering it.
Miss Full Trophy Case over here, and she can't decide what she wants to do. I need to talk to your mom and dad.
I'm planning on going to Auburn in the fall, so.
Yeah. Is that locked in?
Yes, sir.
Can you play volleyball at Auburn? Are you good enough?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Well, I mean, that's a fair question because, I mean, obviously that's a, Power 5 school with, the whole country to recruit from and stuff like that. So, I mean, obviously everybody on the team down to the water girl is probably really good.
Yes, sir.
Well, listen, ladies, congratulations. Hope you enjoyed your dinner tonight on us, and we're really proud of what you've accomplished during your careers at Donoho. Putting your hands on a couple of these is not too shabby.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, congratulations. These are the three named ladies from the Donoho Falcons championship volleyball team, and we are glad to have them here with us. When we come back, Coach Ralphael Graves joins Joe and I, and we will talk some high school hoops. That is straight ahead here on the Friday Night Network.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now, these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the FNN Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnn.bank. Member FDIC.
Aniston Auto Trim and Body Shop is your best stop for full-service auto body repair, including all body work and professional painting. They also specialize in complete classic car restoration. When you have an accident, you want it back the way it was, and that's what you get with the team at Aniston Auto Trim. The same is true if you're ready to restore your dream car or a timeless family classic. They work with all major insurance companies and provide free estimates for every job. Come by today and see Stacy Jennings and the gang at Aniston Auto Trim and Body Shop, just up the hill off Quintard on Greenbrier Deer Road.
Family owned and operated for over 50 years, Miller Funeral Home is committed to providing families with the finest services for their loved ones, including our newest service, Aquamation. Aquamation is a gentle, respectful, and eco-friendly alternative to flame cremation. Miller Funeral Home is the only facility in the state of Alabama that offers the Aquamation service. Call us or visit our website today to learn more about how we can serve you and your loved ones.
up and what we've talked about. We've been gone from flag football to our final player of the year in Trace Thompson from Etowah, their quarterback. He's still playing. The volleyball team from Donoho, and now we got this guy over here who's probably got more state championship rings than anybody in this county. Coach Ralphael Graves joins us. He played for one, he assistant coached for one, and he earned 4 on his own. That's not too bad.
Nah, it's not too bad.
And now he's doing nothing.
Yeah. Hey, I got a new task at home.
Yeah.
Now. I got.
How many little ones you got? 2?
I got 2 little boys.
Yeah.
And my wife. They need me at home right now, so I had to go be a good coach at the house.
There you go.
Well, how'd you talk her into letting you do basketball with us this year?
Does
she know yet?
I mean, she knows that I miss it, and then kind of like with this, I don't have to invest a whole lot of time away from home. I can just come dabble in and I can get out, So she kind of liked that a little bit. So she was elated when you asked me about it. So, so it's been fun, though.
You bring a pretty rich knowledge of basketball and Calhoun County basketball history, and just when I guess as you look at this season, who's standing out to you? And I know you work with these guys a lot during the off season. I'll start by asking one you're really close to, Devin Barksdale.
Oh, Devin, yeah, Devin, my little godson. Jacksonville will be a tough out. It'll be interesting to see how they do trying to repeat. Now they're going to get a lot of teams' best shot, and their schedule is pretty tough. So I think they have the talent, they have the size, they have the depth. With the new coach, Trez Buzan, I think he will do well. Also, I just think once they get the ball rolling, it's going to be pretty tough to beat them because they're like one of the only teams in the county where their best kids have played outside of the county when the offseason. Those kids are playing out of state. Those kids are in Indianapolis, Florida. They're all over the place, and so then they're going to come back here in Alabama to play against teams who haven't really left their little area, and it's going to be tough to beat those guys. So, but I think Jacksonville will be the team, and Devin will be – I think Devin will be Devin, Devin is loaded with confidence, and then, like I said, with John Broome, it's going to be hard to stop John Broome, and then you have the twins. So I think Jacksonville will be the team. I think Oxford would be pretty tough. Coach Van Meter always, when it comes to preparation, he always has his team. They're tough. They're going to be defensive-minded. They're just really, really young. So just to see how they will do being so young, that season's going to go up and down. He's going to play a gauntlet of a schedule. And so some days those youngsters are going to look like stars, and then some days he'll be ready to pull his hair out. But just give them by maybe end of the year county tournament time, they're going to be ready to compete with Jacksonville and any of those teams. And I think Anniston is going to be – it'll be really good if Anniston win that championship in football because that championship pride moves over to other things too. Yeah, so I think those teams, and of course White Plains will be tough because Coach Randall, he'll have his team fundamentally sound to play and to compete, and then Alex Odom.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And Alex Odom he'll be a tough out. We talking about 30 points a night.
Coach, I'm curious as to your thoughts on Jacksonville because obviously the big guy in the middle is gone now. He's moved on to prep school somewhere or wherever it is, but that's going to change their dynamic a lot, isn't it? I mean, how you play them is going to have to change a lot.
It is going to change because Cade, I thought what Cade did for Jacksonville last year, I mean, it was almost like you put a big cherry on top of the cake.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And what it is, I do believe this. They were 40 points better than teams last year. Now I think they may be in the 10 to 15 point on their best nights better than but that's all you need to be. You only need to be 1 point better than the other team. And I think they have that. But with Cade, like you said, it was like he's going to get every rebound, and then he had the other guys that's going to get all the rebounds. Then he's going to protect the rim. And then all of a sudden he's going to catch 2 alley-oops on you, going to bring the rim down, and now everybody's ready to quit. But they are going to miss him. But I think the Ethan kid, he would step in. He came off the bench for him last year. And Ethan's about 6'4", 6'5". He's a big boy. I mean, he's not Cade, but he can play solid minutes for them. But with Cade, Cade did make a difference.
The thing that I saw with Cade was, especially defensively, Jacksonville could just go out and get after you and leave him back there to guard the rim. And, I mean, if your defense broke down on the press, he was still there.
No, that is true.
That's going to be gone now.
Yeah, they could gamble a lot when he's back there and you know he's back there and people are intimidated by him. I think you're right about that. So, you can find other ways to protect the rim, though. Maybe you don't gamble as much anymore. Maybe you just play straight up, which now, like you said, you won't have that 20-point cushion because he's back there. Now that cushion may be about 8 to 10, somewhere in there. Like I said, but that's good enough to win, So Coach Buzan got his work cut out for him to try to replace that because K brought a lot of incitement to not only to Jacksonville, just to this area in basketball. Like when he came there, it was almost like they stamped it. Like they ain't even tipped off yet. They was like, they're going to win the state championship, and they did. So
they've got guys who can go inside and out, right? And last year, having Kate in there helped them really get those outside looks.
Yeah.
Are they going to have to put the ball more on the floor to kind of create those opportunities this year? Or?
Yes. They don't have anybody that they can just come down court and just throw it down to, and he can actually make a play with it. But they do have, I would say this about Ethan. Ethan is a kid who understands how to play. He screens well. He uses his body because he has the girth on him. He's handing the ball off a lot, pick and roll. He understands how to play. He can shoot it a little bit. So they'll just play a lot of 5-out, maybe more guard oriented. But like I said, they're gonna return 4 starters. They returning like 6 of the first 8 players in the rotation last year, so they will have to score in other ways.
You know what, though, Coach? I don't think you can teach the confidence they're going to hit the floor with. I mean, that goes a long way.
It does, and that's what's interesting to see. So they play this Saturday, and I'm going to ride over to Atlanta to catch them. And they play King Ridge out of Atlanta. And King Ridge they can hit back, so it's gonna be interesting to see how it goes, And so, but I think that's a really good game for them. We talking about a game to kick the season off. I mean, it's not gonna hurt you you're not gonna win the state championship that game. You're not gonna lose it that game, but you can line yourself up and you can size yourself up against somebody else who can hit back and see where you are and see what you need to work on, and I think they will do that.
Well, there you see the graphic on the screen. High school basketball returns to FNN pretty soon, and Coach Ralph and I have been working on the schedule. And, Coach, I think I'm fair in saying it's going to be pretty dang good.
It will be good because it's some really good teams, Ryan. Like you said, with football being at its peak right now, you got to let that take its course,
Yep.
And basketball right now is going to start kind of early. But it really don't matter right now. It'll get the mattering around about end of December, early January. Then you got to be peaking and turning the corner around then. And so, but excuse me, we'll be on the air then. So it'll be pretty good.
You've seen the talent come through this county, right? And where is the meter right now in terms of where the talent's been throughout the county related to where it's been in other periods? Teams you played with, teams you've coached. Can you relate that?
Yeah, you can. I think it still goes back to. It's different. Of course, it's different from when I played. But the kids who are playing outside of the county, that talent is probably the better talent. Because they're going out to develop their talent. Well, here it's really hard to just. If you're gonna only depend on your school to develop you, it's gonna be tough because you're not gonna develop too tough. As soon as the ball ends for you in February or early March. We talking nothing from here on out until next season. But like you said, the talent level, those players who are leaving the area going other places to hone their skills, and they're at the camps, they're at the clinics, they're at the AAU tournaments, and they're playing. Those are the talent. That's the talent that really that cream rise to the top. So so I think this talent level now, John Broom, Alex Odom. I remember watching Alex and John. They were like 5th graders, and you could see that they were going to be good. And then all of a sudden, Alex grows to like 6'3", and it's like, uh-oh. We already know it. And so you could see that talent there. And I think now the kids have way more exposure, and they have the know-how. If they really pay attention to how other people are doing it, they can really – that talent can really take off. And like you said, Alex, Cade, John Broom, then you have Devin – even at Anniston, they had the Christian kid, but I think he transferred back to Connecticut. But those kids, like I said, they have the exposure now, and there's really no excuse now why you can't be seen, because it's out there for you. I mean, you can make your own phone. You can make your own video with your own phone. So, you know, I mean, you can send it to whoever you want to. So the media, I think media has really helped it a lot too, because I think the kids back then, we didn't really have the media like they do now. If we did, it'd have been like, oh man, you talking about kids like Damian Dorsey, Marcus Perry, George Reed, all those kids. The kid at Alexandria, the Johnson kid at Alexandria. Those kids are real. Even Will again, like those kids are really good. Give them the camera, because Will was an Alex Odom.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? But we never got to see it. We never got to put them out like that. But I think the kids now have that talent.
I think it's interesting that you mentioned Will, because now he's got the keys to the car at Alexandria. How much difference do you think that makes out there?
I think it makes a big difference. I think it's long overdue for Will. I just thought it was, Alexandria just lost a lot of talent. They lost the house because they had some really good pieces last year. Now Will is having to build it, and I think that may be a good thing for him. He can build it how he wants to build it, but I thought it was long overdue. Will should have been a head coach, though. I mean, because he knows so much. And I used to play against Will when I was in high school, because we were like middle school, 9th grade, B team, all the way up. And I think he will bring that knowledge. And then with his brother being there, and then the tradition of the Gins being at Alexandria, I think he really understands the pride. I think he kind of misses that. And I think he'll bring that pride and that fight that the Valley Cubs need to be back in the mix.
He's going to turn the heat up in that damn gym, and it's going to be
man. Yeah.
You know.
No, yeah, that's true. That's true.
All right, Ralph, before we close up, give us the name of one or two kids that we might hear a lot more about during the season or at the end of the season than we know about right now.
All right. I give you a kid from Anniston. That kid will be Javen Croft and Delroy Francis. Those are two from Anniston. Let's see what we have at Jacksonville. I would think it's the twins.
Mm-hmm.
I think the twins will make. That's Cameron and Caden. They will make a big splash at. Give me another school out here. If you give me a school at.
Give me Oxford.
Oh, Jalen, of course. At Jalen, Jaden and Jalen, both of those. And if Jalen Taylor plays also, I think those three kids right there will be. They're going to be tough. Those two young guards they have is, man, they're going to be rough. They're 9th graders. And then I think the Jaden kid on the inside, he'll be pretty good.
Can't wait. Oh. Go ahead.
I was going to say, Delroy played for you at Sacred Heart, right?
Delroy did.
And how many of those guys are still in circulation around here?
Delroy and Javen, both are at Anniston. They'll play at Anniston. They'll probably start at Anniston. And Devin starts at Jacksonville, and Ant starts at Sax. He plays point guard at Sax. And then Jarek Burrows, I think he's at Pell City.
Okay.
He's at Pell City.
Gosh, there's just so many teams around here that have so many great athletes. I mean, we didn't even talk about Saxon Weaver.
No, yeah, and like you said, those schools aren't, like I said, you won't really hear about those guys until like December and stuff, because they're gonna go football most of the time all the way through. And so I think, like you said, Saxon were really good teams then, like you said. And I think at White Plains, like somebody's going to come out of White Plains that we don't know nothing about, that Coach Randall has developed over there in that system, and then you'll see them once the season roll around.
Absolutely. All right, well, we can't wait to get started. It's coming up in just a matter of weeks right here on FNN High School Basketball with James and Coach Graves on the mic, and we'll have all of that for you, and we'll have a posted schedule here pretty soon. But first, we got to finish football, right?
Yes.
All right, we're going to do that with Namath Pitts coming up next here on FNN.
The tire, arguably the most important part of a car. Without it, we could not stop, we could not go, we couldn't drive at all. They come in all sizes, brands, treads, prices, and ratings. How do you know which is the right tire for you? Thankfully, there's Cobb Automotive, and they have been answering this question since 1981. With a large selection of brands and sizes in stock, you are sure to get the right tire for the right price. Cobb Automotive, located on Highway 21 across from Walmart in Oxford, and 2001 Quintard Avenue in Anniston.
Serving Calhoun County for over 30 years, Crawford Office Supply offers selection, convenience, and low prices. Choose from a wide variety of office furnishings featured in their huge showroom. with savings of 50 to 70% off scratch and dent items. You'll find it all from pens and paper to janitorial supplies at Crawford Office Supply, including on-site printing, all backed up by unmatched personal service and free delivery to local business. Crawford Office Supply, 301 South Layton Avenue in Anniston. Remember, buy local, it matters.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver Card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Welcome back to Struts Wings here in Oxford. Tuesday night high school football coaches show. Last show of the year, last segment of the show. And we need to close it out talking football playoffs. And we would like to welcome in our special guest, Namath Pitts, who, tell everybody how you came about doing what you do.
Yeah, so I got my first gig really after my freshman year of high school. So I played football for Coach Smith at Welborn my freshman year. I weighed about 90 pounds, and I said, I don't think I have a future in football.
I was going to say, did you quit, or did he tell you need to go do something else?
No, it was a conversation where I said, Coach, I think football is not in my best interest, and Coach had knew I'd always followed cameras around on the sideline when I was in 7th and 8th grade as a manager, and so he really said, hey, I think broadcasting's in your future, and then kind of the next steps came.
And then you basically kind of created your own platform, didn't you? Because, I don't know if you just didn't want to work other places or what the situation was, but you kind of did your own thing, and that's kind of brought you to where you are today.
Yeah, I think really a lot of it was just kind of the way I was grown up, to be honest with you. It was a lot of having to do things my own way, and I think that's just kind of something that's been instilled in me is, making something happen. And so I kind of went on Facebook and talked a little football as a little ninth grader in my bedroom, and then next thing I know, it led into a little bit more.
And obviously you have chosen this as at least some sort of career path because you're working in radio now for iHeartMedia over in Birmingham. You do work for them during, I guess, every day during the week, right?
At 3 a.m. I'll be up ready to hit the road.
And then, of course, you continue your passion with your own thing that you do with your high school pick'ems. And I know you work with John and that bunch some. And, I think I commend you for following your dream. That's just great.
Oh, man, thank you, and thank you guys for what you do for, high school football in our area.
Well, we try. We do all right on a good day. All right, let's talk brackets for 1A. Let's start with Maplesville and Leroy, and take us through this, Namath. I mean, what do you see, and where do you see 1A?
Yeah, I see two really good traditional programs in Maplesville and Leroy. Both of them are no strangers to playoff appearances. But, when I look at Maplesville right here, I think Maplesville's got the edge being at home this week.
And, of course, they will get the winner of the Linden-Brantley game. And, again, some more traditional 1A names in that matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. And Linden, of course, making a state championship appearance just a few years ago. Brantley made the state championship last year. I mean, you look at these four teams, wow, I can't even imagine trying to go through this gauntlet over the next 2 weeks. But I really think that you're going to see Brantley and Maplesville next week in the quarterfinals.
You got Elba and Sweetwater going against one another, and they will play the winner of Milry and Lochapoka.
Yeah, I don't think there's a team in 1A South that can defeat Elba, to be honest with you. I think Elba's the best team in 1A overall right now.
All right, let's move more toward the north. We got Pickens County, which a lot of people think may be the best team in the north. They've got Meek this week on the road.
Yeah, I don't really think this is going to be as much of a challenge as a lot of people think it's going to be. I'm actually going with Pickens County on the road. This is another team, the Tornadoes, every single year, Jim, they're right here in the playoffs making deep runs, and I expect this year to be no different.
Marion County, I think, surprised a lot of people last week, not with winning at Raglan, but the manner in which they dominated the Purple Devils.
Yeah, I actually thought Raglan was going to bounce back after losing to Spring Garden, but boy was I wrong, and I figured out not to go against Marion County. I don't think Valley Head can beat them, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't either. All right, Spring Garden, we think that may be the best team in the north. they'll get Coosa Christian at home, and of course they played earlier in the year. Can Coosa Christian do anything with the Garden?
Well, I'll tell you this, Coosa Christian is not the same team, neither is Spring Garden, that played in week 2. And Coosa Christian, they don't have a lot of experience in the playoffs. This was actually their first playoff win ever in school history last week outside of 8-man football. But they do have experience with Coach Mark O'Brien, who was a coach under Coach Gross at Oxford. Coach Teddy Whitmire, the defense coordinator, was at Fife in Pinson Valley. I think this is a really good team, and I think if they can get their running back, Jacaro Marstello, going, I think they're going to give Spring Garden all they want, but I still give Spring Garden the edge because Jason Howard, Chappelle Pope, John Welsh, this team is as talented as Spring Garden may have ever been, and I think that's strong words, and not a lot of people would maybe agree with me.
Yeah, well, I tell you, we've seen them through our camera lenses twice, and we're sold. Joe, what do you think? Spring Garden and Coosa Christian. That's kind of on the edge of your coverage area.
Well, I think Spring Garden. 27-0, and the first part of the year, and it's hard for me to see the formula that sees Coosa Christian make up that much difference in 9 weeks.
And of course, the winner of that one gets the winner of Lynn and Addison. Namath, what about that matchup?
Yeah, I think you're going to see Spring Garden advance to the to the quarterfinals next week, and I think they'll actually defeat Lynn. So I think they'll make the semifinals.
All right, let's push on to 2A in the South. B.B. Comer and Wicksburg. We like B.B. Comer. We, of course, are huge fans of the coach down there. He's a former FNN Coach of the Year nominee. But this Wicksburg bunch is not somebody to be taken lightly.
No, they are not, and they are 6-5. But if you look at their 5 losses, those losses are to Houston Academy, who fell to Mobile Christian but was region champs. I always say this next one, I know it's not Rio Bet. That's always what I call them, but that's wrong. But either way, that's a 5A program. They lost to Ayrton, who's the region winner, G.W. Long, who's the runner-up, and then Dadeville, who's undefeated. You combine those records, Jim, there's a whole lot of wins and not a lot of losses. And then look at what Coach Josh Cox has done there. He's made the playoffs 7 of 9 seasons. So this is a very tough game for B.B. Comer, but they have Kamor Harris, who's a future D1 commit. I do like B.B. Comer on the road, but it is going to be a challenge.
All right, and they will get the winner in next week of Reeltown and G.W. Long. Anybody stopping Reeltown?
Yeah, B.B. Comer next week, but not G.W. Long this week. That game would be in Sylacauga, but I'm going Reeltown this week.
Ayrton and Highland home.
Man, I couldn't make my mind up on this one. If you're going to put me on spot, I'm still going to go with I'm going to go with Ayrton at home because Highland home just struggled a little bit with Isabella last week, and that just kind of makes me worry about them.
And they will get the winner of Clark County and Vincent, a team that's been kind of quiet throughout the season because of the region thing there with Comer, and they just hadn't gotten a lot of attention. Did they get any after Friday night?
Man, congratulations to Vincent for one heck of a season, but Clark County made the state championship last year, and I just don't see Vincent defeating them Friday night on the road.
All right, Lexington hosts Tuscaloosa Academy.
Yeah, Tuscaloosa Academy, this is their first year in AHSAA football. They switched over from I don't know if it's AISA or what they call it, but they switched over to defeated Locust Fork. And I think Lexington's a good team, but I like Tuscaloosa Academy on the road.
Now, see, I can bring Joe in on this next one. Is anybody going to beat Fife?
No.
No. There you go. All right. See you, Winston County. All right. Southeastern and Pisgah.
Yeah, this is
you like Pisgah in this one, I think.
Yeah, it's a tough game, though. And, I'm not as high on Pisgah as some people. I do think they win Friday night, but ultimately I'm telling you, Aliceville's a good team. And Fife is going to come out of 2A, 2A North. But Aliceville is no joke, Jim.
Yep, and Aliceville, of course, is hosting Falkville in the game Friday night, and Southeastern and Pisgah, the winner of that one gets the winner of the other game, and that pretty much takes us through all of the 2A matchups. Now let's press on to 3A, which has a little more meaning for us here. Let's talk about some of the teams and matchups in 3A. Why don't we start with 3A North?
All right, let's do it.
Let's go there. Dadeville and Thomasville. We've seen Dadeville on the hill at Welborn early in the season. They seem to have just gotten better and stronger and more consistent, but Thomasville is no slouch either.
Yeah, and this is actually a South game, but you talk about Dadeville and what they've done. Dadeville had some transfers come in the preseason. A lot of us didn't know that. I've seen them play multiple times. I think they defeat Thomasville, but it's not going to be an easy game.
St. James and W.S. Neal. A lot of people think St. James is the best team in the 3A South brackets. Your thoughts on this one?
And those people would be correct. They have the 3 best wide receivers I've seen in 3A football this season. St. James is not getting beat in the South.
They were 4A last year and eliminated Anniston in the first round.
Sure did. Mobile Christian and Trinity.
I like and this is the tough one because I saw Trinity last week too, and they've got a great quarterback. They've got great speed, and their defense is phenomenal. But Mobile Christian had, forfeit 4 games. All right, that's the reason they were a 4 seed and went to Houston Academy. And I like Mobile Christian. I like the Leopards to defeat Trinity.
Yeah, I think so too. Alabama Christian and Pike County in the bottom half of that bracket.
Well, I know there's one team that didn't like me more than anybody this year, and it was Randolph County because I was never sold on them. Joe can probably tell you that from my conversation at the Hill that night. But I think Alabama Christian defeats Pike County at home.
All right, Mars Hill and Geraldine as we move on the north side of the line. Everybody's kind of waiting for what could be a Piedmont-Mars Hill semifinal, but first Mars Hill's got to make the trip to Geraldine and come away with a win.
And they win by double digits, so I don't see a game here.
Madison Academy and Sylvania, kind of the same dynamic as Mars Hill and Geraldine. Sylvania and Geraldine both out of that region. What are your thoughts on Madison Academy and Sylvania? Same results?
Yeah, I think all 4 games in 3A North this week are double-digit wins for the team that wins.
Yeah, Piedmont, Colbert County, any chance?
No, I'll be there, but you just look at Colbert County's best win of the season. It was J.B. Pennington. They don't show me anything that tells me they're going to be competitive in this game.
A quick note on that, Jack Hayes needs 313 passing yards to break that record and make it the 4 crown jewels.
Yep, wow. And he could probably get that this Friday. Gordo and Lauderdale County to set up the Piedmont-Gordo meeting next week.
I'll tell you, go ahead and get on GoFan Saturday morning and get your tickets for Piedmont and Gordo because that's going to happen.
And that game will likely be at Piedmont. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Because Piedmont's, they're at the top of the bracket, and they would host. So there you go, Piedmont and Gordo, and then Piedmont and Mars Hill. Boy, that'll be quite a run that Steve Smith's kids will have to go on to make a return trip to the Super 7. All right, let's progress to 4A. Start with Anniston and BT Washington. I'll let you have this one, Joe. Any chance Washington has against the Anniston Friday night?
No. I think Anniston's chance at a real challenge is probably next week.
I think you're right. Namath?
I think Anniston wins this game, but now Booker T. Washington's 5 losses, Trinity, playoff team, Tallahassee, playoff team, Montgomery Catholic, Andalusia, and Pike Road. So this is not going to be an easy game, but I think you look at Rico White and what this team's done. Bradley Ball is the most underrated assistant in the state of Alabama. That guy needs to be a head coach one day. He's a great recruiting coach, and I think just the mentality of this Anniston team is different, their strength of schedule. I do like Anniston, but it won't be easy.
American Christian and Andalusia play to get Anniston next week in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, every year American Christian's here, and they never seem to get the job done.
Yep.
And I just don't see them winning, even though they're in Tuscaloosa.
And Munford should have beat them last week.
That's right.
I mean, so I'm with you. I like Andalusia to come up here next Friday to play the Bulldogs. All right, Catholic, Montgomery, and Jacksonville have the Golden Eagles. Got one more miracle in them, Joe.
Well, I certainly wouldn't pick them to win this game. Although, if you're going to have a chance against this team, you got to score, and Jacksonville can score.
They can light it up. What do you think, Namath?
Yeah, Jeremiah Cobb. And here's an interesting stat for you, Jim. Of course, private school against public school, that's always a big discussion. Do you know that it costs nearly $10,000 if you pay one lump sum to go to Montgomery Catholic for 1 year in the high school? So that's crazy to think about, but I think Montgomery Catholic's going to win.
You should ask how many of those kids that are dressed out are paid that $10,000. It wouldn't be too many of them. T.R. Miller and Hanley, if I was buying a ticket to any game in the state this Friday, that one would be it for me.
You know, I think Hanley, with Jamarius Haynes back and healthy, he rushed for 167 yards last week. I like them in this game. They're a team that feels like they should have gone farther last year, and so I don't think they're going to have a problem as far as being ready to play this game. It'll be a tough challenge, but I think Hanley gets by it.
Yeah, I agree with Joe. I mean, I think you get a healthy Jay Haynes, they win this game on the road. But now you talk about 2 great coaches, Larry Strain out of Hanley, Brent Hubbard out of T.R. Miller. You know, Brent Hubbard won a few state championships at Maplesville. And, in his 4 seasons at T.R. Miller, he's put together a 38-12 record, 7-3 in the playoffs. They've got a great resume, great wins. It's going to be a great game.
And just what about the heritage of both programs? I mean, it's just crazy. All right, Priceville and Aniana as we move to the north.
Yeah. Joe, you want to talk about this one or you want me to cover it?
You go. That's out of my coverage area.
All right. So Aniana, obviously, I don't know why people aren't talking about Fluff Bothwell, and, yeah, that's a real name, and he's an absolute monster at running back for Aniana. Priceville's undefeated, but they have not faced anybody like Aniana, Jim. I think Aniana wins this game by double digits.
All right, and they will get the winner of Deschler and Etowah, possibly setting up an Etowah-Aniana rematch.
Man, Etowah has got their hands full Friday night. I'll be there. I do think Etowah is going to win this game, but what impresses me about Deschler is that I know it was week 0 and week 1, but they defeated Madison Academy and Russellville back-to-back weeks. They averaged 44 points a game, and do you know they've only missed the playoffs twice since 1983? That was before my dad graduated high school. They've only missed the playoffs twice.
Cherokee County and West Morgan. Cherokee County's quietly put together a nice little playoff run. A lot of people think they may be the team to come out of the north.
I picked them in preseason, and I sure wouldn't change it now.
You like Cherokee County?
I do, and I come back to what I said earlier this season. What if Cherokee County had still been in that same region with Anniston, Jacksonville, and Hanley?
Oh God! For all of us, we're glad they're not.
That may be a last year's region game in the Super 7.
But I mean, look at this as a possibility when you compare this to what either Etowah or Aniana is going to have to go through. Cherokee County gets the winner of Dora and Randolph. I mean, come on, guys.
Randolph's a really good team out of Huntsville. Keep an eye on Randolph if they do indeed get Cherokee County next week. But I think, again, like you just said, Jim, Cherokee County's the better team.
And I think Cherokee County just got a really nice bracket set up for them. All right, let's push on to 5A as we'll start in the south. Central Clay County and Gulf Shores, our game of the week coming up this Friday for you here on FNN.
What a game of the week, Jim. I wish I was going to be at that one. I'll tell you this.
Well, you can watch it. You know how.
I might just be doing that, actually. But I'll tell you this. Central Clay County, Coach Horn will tell you he feels really good about his offense. He really feels like they can keep Gulf Shores off the field. And everyone I've talked to in this preseason honestly did not expect Central Clay to be here, which sounds crazy. You know, they were supposed to be down this year. But here they are facing a Gulf Shores program that, quite frankly, has a college head coach that coached at Austin Peay. You know, Joe, you would know more about that than me. Ronnie Royal, the former Alexandria Valley Cub. Many transfers, great wins. This is going to be a great game.
One note, Terry Heflin for Clay Central this year, 1,939 yards rushing, 19 touchdowns, also 177 receiving yards. And you mentioned Ronnie Royal. Last week scored a touchdown receiving, rushing, passing.
Unbelievable.
He's still Ronnie Royal.
Going to be a lot of exciting football players on that field come Friday night. Man, you just can't bet against the Fighting Danny Horns. I'm just telling you, it's going to be tough. Gulf Shores should win it based on the numbers, but there's just something that tells me Central Clay County might pull this thing out. They will get the winner of Demopolis and Faith Academy. So what's your thoughts there, Namath?
Yeah, 2 really good coaching staffs, 2 really good quarterbacks. And I got to tell you, I think Faith Academy wins this game, especially since they're at home. And, Faith Academy was the team that knocked Central Clay County out. I believe it was a year ago or the year before that. So keep an eye on Faith Academy.
All right. Bottom half of the bracket, Charles Henderson at Tallahassee on Friday night.
I would be shocked if Tallahassee wins this game. If you look at Charles Henderson's schedule, their resume, their wins, this is a really good team.
And finally, in the South, UMS Wright and Beauregard.
Yeah.
Anybody got anything for UMS Wright? I mean, can we go ahead? Do we need to punch them on into Jordan Hare?
Yeah, I would go ahead and punch them in at Jordan Hare.
All right, Russellville and Pleasant Grove. This has got the makings of a pretty good football game.
This has the makings for a great game. Coach Darrell LeBeau has had opportunity after opportunity to get that state championship trophy, and he has not been able to do it yet. He's got his hands full of Russellville, who you see 63 points is how many they scored last week. Well, they've done that a lot this season. I'm going Pleasant Grove on the road just because of the experience the past few years in getting to the Super 7. I think that's going to help them, and I think the athleticism is going to be a little bit better for Pleasant Grove. But the winner of this game, in my opinion, Jim, is the one that's going to make it to the state championship.
All right. Arab and Moody await them in the other half of the bracket. Moody's been electric all year. They lost to Leeds. Maybe some wind came out of their sails after that. And Arab under Lee Osmont's just been rock steady.
And Moody, I mean, they just barely kind of got past Jasper last week, which was a little surprising after the regular season they have. Coach Osment's doing an incredible job at Arab. I'm going Moody on the road, but, man, this is one that I would not put money on. I can tell you that.
Leeds and Scottsboro. What do you think, Joe?
Leeds. Yeah, I will go with defense every time, and they've got it.
They've got it. What do you think, Namath?
I agree with Joe 100%.
All right, and they will get the winner of Ramsey and Gunnersville in the quarterfinals.
I hate games like these where it's so tough to call, but I think Ramsey, again, the athleticism, the speed, I like Ramsey to beat Gunnersville on the road.
Yeah, I kind of like Ramsey in this one as well. All right, let's push on quickly to 6A and pull those brackets up for you and start in the South with Hillcrest Tuscaloosa at Saraland at Hillcrest Tuscaloosa.
Ever since Sam Adams left Hillcrest Tuscaloosa and went to Oxford, Hillcrest has won a lot of games, as they did when he was there. So there's been no drop-off since Sam Adams left. They've done an incredible job, and Hillcrest Tuscaloosa is a great team. They're going to win this game.
Awaiting them is the winner of Homewood and Pike Road. That one will be played at Homewood Friday night.
I went on record and said in preseason that nobody would defeat Pike Road. They would win the state championship in 6A after winning it in 5A last year. I'm not going to change it now. I'm going Pike Road over Homewood, but Homewood's a good team.
St. Paul's and Pelham.
St. Paul's.
All right, that was a quick, easy pick. Theodore and Hueytown. Hueytown, very impressive last Friday night against Benjamin Russell. What do they do this week with Theodore?
They've been so streaky, Jim. There's weeks where, like when they play Mountain Brook and Gardendale, and they look really good, and then weeks where they don't look like that same team. So Theodore has kind of been consistent all season long, so I like the Bobcats at Theodore.
Joe, can the Titans do anything with Mountain Brook Friday night?
I would pick Mountain Brook in that one.
Namath?
Yeah, but I will say this. Gadsden City's non-region schedule is Carrollton, Georgia, Hewitt-Trussville, Hartselle, and Hillcrest Tuscaloosa. Now, outside of in region play, they only gave up 7 points, but there's a problem, Jim. In non-region, they give up a lot of points. And Mountain Brook, Chris Yeager, this team's going to score a lot of points Friday night.
And the winner of that one will get the winner of Hartselle and Centerpoint, and that game's at Hartselle Friday night.
I picked Hartselle on my show Monday night, Jim, but I'm actually going Centerpoint tonight. I've had an extra day to think on this one, and I like Centerpoint.
Centerpoint just seems to find a way. Muscle Shoals and Parker. Parker, of course, the Thundering Herd.
Joe, there's always that team, right? Mm-hmm. That team that makes that run, and Parker's going to see another week of another win. I'm going them over Muscle Shoals at home.
Yeah, after that 7-6 upset of Chalkville, they pick up the win, and they will get the winner of Decatur and Gardendale. Gardendale, of course, knocked Oxford out this past Friday night. Who wins that one, Namath?
Very rarely are you going to see me pick a team out of Huntsville over a team out of Birmingham. I'm going Gardendale.
All right. Well, Gardendale, of course, looked pretty darn good, sporty throwing the ball. All right. Then that gets us to 7A, where we can wrap up the brackets for week 2 of the playoffs. Auburn should have no problem with Dothan, should they?
They shouldn't. I mean, Keith Etheridge's team is playing as good as they've played all season long right now at the right time. I like the Tigers.
And, of course, that will set up a rematch with Central Phoenix City if they can knock off Enterprise, which they probably will do. That game's at Central Phoenix City. Then you got Hoover and Hewitt-Trussville.
Yeah, I mean, Hoover, I think, has surprised everybody this year. New coach, no drop-off. They even defeated Thompson this year. Hoover's a really, really good team this year, as they always are, and I like Hoover over Hewitt-Trussville at home.
Yeah, well, they're going to get another shot at Thompson. Let's see if 2 times is the charm. Thompson and Vestavia Hills hook up Friday night, and I don't see Thompson having much trouble with Vestavia Hills.
Thompson is starting an 8th grade quarterback in 7A football. When have you ever heard of that? 8th grader in 7A football, and I think they're going to defeat Hoover in a rematch next week. I like them to go to the Super 7.
All right, real quick. We're running out of time. Super 7 predictions. What you got?
Oh, man, I don't even have the brackets in front of me to go through it again. How about I give you my winners? In 1A, I think I still like whoever comes out of the South. I think Spring Garden's going to get there, but I like it whether it be Brantley or whoever it is that comes out of the South. In 2A, look, I think we're actually going to see Fife and B.B. Comer this year, but I'm going to go with Fife. And then in 3A, I think we're going to see Piedmont is going to get through that gauntlet and play St. James. I got to tell you, this one's tough. I'm going to go with Steve Smith and Piedmont, but I would not surprise me if St. James wins that game. In 4A, I'm big on Anniston if they can stay disciplined and limit penalties, but I'm going with whoever comes out of the South over Cherokee County in the North. So I'm going with, whether it's Montgomery Catholic, Andalusia, Hanley, Anniston, whoever. And then in 5A, I still kind of feel like I'm going with the South, so whoever comes out of the South. In 6A, same thing. I'm going with Pike Road, and then in 7A, I'm going with Auburn to win it this year.
All right, so there you go.
What he said, he's the guru.
Yeah, well, no, he just studies it a whole lot more than we do. All right, well, that's going to do it for this season of the Tuesday Night High School Football Coaches Show. We certainly hope you've enjoyed being with us. Namath, thanks for coming and joining us, and we got to have you back a lot more next year.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for the invite.
All right, anytime. And for Joe Medley, for James, for the crew behind the cameras, Kirby and Jake producing on the computer, I'm Jim Jacobs. For our entire crew, thanks again to the wonderful folks here at Struts for hosting us throughout the season. We'll see you Friday night from Clay County as the Clay County Volunteers will host the Gulf Shores Dolphins in our Friday night game of the week. Remember, pregame is free on all our platforms at 7 o'clock. All of that stops, and it goes exclusively to the NFHS network, where that is a pay-per-view platform, and we'll have a link for that up on all of our social sites for you, if not later tonight, first thing tomorrow, where you can go ahead and get your subscription so you're ready to go. For the entire cast, good night from Struts here on the Friday Night Network.